Welcome to St.Margaret's Catholic Church and to South Queensferry, the picturesque and historic royal borough of Queensferry. Our church is dedicated to St. Margaret, patroness of Scotland, who established a free ferry at Queensferry for pilgrims travelling to St. Andrews. Please come inside for a short tour of our church, find out about what is important in the Catholic Church and the history of our church and faith in Queensferry. Our tour starts in the nave of the church. The sanctuary is the part of a Catholic church around the altar. This is the most sacred part of the church. This gave rise to the term to seek sanctuary, when in medieval times fugitives were immune from arrest in a church. The altar is the table on which the sacrifice of the Mass is offered. It is the centre of church ceremony and clearly distinct from the main body of the church. The monstrance, which holds a consecrated host during the exposition of the Blessed Sacrament, is placed on the altar. The chalice is the cup which holds the wine, then the precious blood of Christ during Mass. It is made of gold, or if made of silver, the interior is gold. The thurible is a vessel for burning incense at solemn ceremonies. Its rising smoke symbolises prayer and God's hidden presence. The tabernacle behind the altar is the golden container in which the Blessed Sacrament is reserved. The name derives from the Old Testament tent in which God dwelt among his people. Above the altar is the crucifix, a cross bearing the image of Christ. To the left of the altar is the sanctuary lamp, a wax candle in a red glass container kept burning day and night wherever the Blessed Sacrament is kept in Catholic churches or chapels. A new Paschal candle is blessed and lit every year at Easter and is used throughout the Paschal season, which is during Easter, and then throughout the year on special occasions. Ringing the sanctuary bells alerts the faithful that transubstantiation has taken place and that the body and blood of our Lord are truly present on the altar. To the left of the sanctuary is the confessional. Here the sacrament of penance is administered. Catholics have always venerated those holy men and women who have gone before us and are now with our Lord in heaven. We ask the saints to intercede for us. St. Margaret of Scotland worked tirelessly to bring justice and relief to the poor of Scotland. She also built churches and encouraged practices of religious devotion. In her private life, she exhibited great prayerfulness and piety. Her influence was not only seen in her husband's life, but throughout all Scotland. Our other statue, Mary, Mother of Jesus, is also referred to as the Blessed Virgin Mary, or Our Lady. Consecration candles and consecration crosses are set into the walls around the church. The candles were first lit when the church was consecrated in 1934. Looking around the church, you will notice 14 Stations of the Cross. These depict the events of Jesus' crucifixion. Stations of the Cross is a popular devotion in the church, led by a celebrant with responses at each station. As we leave the nave, our tour continues up to the balcony. From here we get a good view of the church. Turning round, we see our three large stained glass windows above the entrance of St. Margaret's, in memory of the late Archbishop Strain and his sister Margaret. The windows are a major feature of the church and were created by Barnett and Son of Leith. On the left is St. Andrew the Apostle, patron saint of Scotland. St. Andrew was martyred by crucifixion on an X-shaped cross, or saltire, now commonly known as a St. Andrew's cross. This was at his own request, as he deemed himself unworthy to be crucified on the same type of cross as Jesus. On the right is St. Margaret, Queen of Scotland. She is depicted with crown and sceptre, indicating she was a princess and a queen. The finial which tops the sceptre represents a thistle, the national flower of Scotland. And also she holds her golden reliquary containing the Black Rood of Scotland, or Holy Rood, a portion of the true cross. The central window is St. Elizabeth of Hungary, and she is carrying flowers in her cape, a reference to the miracle of the roses. While secretly taking food to the poor, Elizabeth hid food in her cape, which miraculously turned to flowers when questioned by her husband. It is not clear why St. Elizabeth of Hungary should appear in these windows, and why she is the central figure. Our tour continues down into the baptistry. Vestments are the garments worn by the priest at Mass. The chasuble is the outer garment, and various styles have emerged over the centuries. Spiritually, it reminds the priest of the charity of Christ. The colours of the vestments are a visible reminder of the sacred mysteries which we celebrate and of the different seasons of the Church's year. Each colour has its own meaning and significance. The soutane is the long black robe worn by the altar servers at Mass and during various other services of the Church. The surplice is worn over the soutane. And so, we come to the end of our tour of St. Margaret's Catholic Church in South Queensferry. We hope you've enjoyed the tour, and we hope you will visit the church when Doors Open Days visiting resumes, when we can tell you more about the history of our church.